Hello everybody, this is Flapflap from the Adventures of Shadow Pon 3 and Flapflap the Rock Pegasus. In this episode, we learn about Lina, who takes revenge on Flare by doing something awful. Let us begin. It was a wonderful morning in Ponyville, and Shadow Pon 3 and Flapflap were relaxing in the fields and having a wonderful time. It had been a good full month and a half since the music battle between Lina and Flare, which was mostly not much of a battle and more of Lina getting her butt kicked by Flare. Boom! Anyway, Flare was laying on top of Shadowpon's hood as she closed her eyes and started to doze off. And Shadowpon smiled and giggled at Flare. Is some pony tired? Shadowpon 3 said. Yes, 'cause whenever I'm with you, I like to do this, Flare said. Flare made every moment in Shadowpon's life perfect. Everything about Flare was perfect that made her in Shadowpon's life the absolute best in Equestria, among other things. Later that night, after dinner, they were sitting in Flare's room and telling each other stories and good memories they had in the past. It was just the three of them. Shadow Pon 3, Flare, and the emptiness of the room. You're my one and only special pony I want in my life, Shadow Pon. Flare said. Aw, you're my one and only dear Flare. Shadow Pon 3 said. Flare nuzzled Shadow Pon and cuddled in her warmth of her hooves and slowly began to close her eyes. Shadow Pon started to do the same. And off outside in the moonshine was a mysterious silhouette watching the house of Flare the Rock Pegasus. The next morning, Flare woke up and Shadowpon wasn't there, so she ran downstairs and yelled, Anyone seen Shadowpon? Why, no, darling, isn't she with you? Her mother asked. Shadow was in my bed until this morning. She would have told me she would be at whatever, but she didn't, so I'm panicking, Flare said. Oh, will you calm down there, Flare? I bet she just flew on home and is eating breakfast with her parents. You'll see, Flare. You freak out even if you're missing one of your forks or muffins. Jeez. Just calm down, her mother said. I do not! Flare yelled. What's our daughter yelling about, honey? Flare's father said, walking into the room, peeking his head in. She thinks Shadowpon left without her knowing, and she's being schizophrenic about it. Flare's mother said, looking at her husband. Oh, dear daughter of mine, Shadowpon must be at home and must have forgot to leave a note. I think it's best to go to Shadow's parents and see that she will be there, and if you don't, you gotta go find Shadow before worse things happen to either you or Shadow, Flare's father said. Okay, father. I'm sorry I yelled, Mother. I'm just afraid if something happened to Shadowpon, because Shadow is a true friend to me. I don't want to lose that true friend, Flare said. Oh, it's alright, Flare. I forgive you, and I understand your situation, so go and find Shadowpon for the sake of your friendship, Flare's mother said, as Flare opened the front door, walking outside and shutting it closed. Flare went outside and took a deep breath and said, Okay, I can do this. I can find Shadowpon without thinking bad things. Come on, Flare, you can do this. Flare started to walk around Ponyville and went to Shadowpon's house and knocked her hoof on the door. Shadowpon's mother answered, Why, hello, Flare. Did you and Shadowpon sleep well last night? Yes, we did, but that's the problem. I can't seem to find Shadow. Flare said, calmly, trying not to freak out. By what in Equestria's world do you mean, Flare? Shadowpon's mother asked. She was sleeping with me, and then this morning she wasn't there, and I know that you're gonna say, and I know what you're gonna say, so let me go find her, Flare said. Shadowpon's mother nodded her head as she said, Best of luck finding Shadowpon, Flare. Shadow's mother said as she shut the door. Flare went to the hill facing the tree where they met at. Shadowpon wasn't there. Flare went to the bakery. Shadow Pon wasn't there either. Flare sighed and went to the tree and started to think out loud. Oh, where could she be? Well, let's see. 1, she didn't leave a note. 2, she wasn't at the house. 3, she wasn't at the tree. 4, she wasn't at the bakery. Where can she be? Did she go back to Canterlot? Did someone kidnap her? Is she in danger and need help? Oh my gosh, all these bad thoughts. Well, I better go to Canterlot and begin my search. Flare flew to Canterlot and started to begin her search. She asked ponies around the town. She flew around asking. No luck. Flare then landed and scratched her hoof on her head in confusion as she said, Not in Canterlot either? Something smells very weird right now. If only she left the gosh darn note, I wouldn't be in this situation, Flare said. Flare then noticed a note sticking on a pole as she went to it and read out loud. Flare, I have your precious alicorn. If you ever want to see this alicorn again, you announce to the public in Canterlot tonight that you made me lose the competition. I will return Shadow Pon unharmed. Lina. Flare started to growl loud as she took the note and crumbled it and stomped on it in anger. And she flew to Octavia's and stormed in with angry eyes full of rage as Octavia looked at her in shock. Flare, you okay? You seem angry at me for something. No, Shadow Pon is gone. Lina kidnapped her. I'm not mad at you. Flare yelled. Flare, please calm down and explain the situation. I'll try my best to help you. Octavia said. Flare took some deep breaths and said, I'm sorry, sis. I'm just really angry right now. That I can tell the way that you came into my room like that. Now, please tell me what's going on. Octavia said. Well, I went to bed with Shadow Pon, and when I woke up, she wasn't there. So I went downstairs to ask my parents if she had left and told them, but no. So I went to her parents, and they haven't seen her either, so I came here to Canterlot and see if she was homesick again. So I started searching. No luck until I saw a note on a pole, and it said Lina has her. And I had to announce to the whole world of Equestria tonight that I made her lose the music competition, and she will return Shadow Pon. Flare said, Well, now this I can and can't help you, Flare. Octavia said. What do you mean, sis? Flare said with a puzzled look. I mean, I can be there for support, but you gotta play your hand. It's either tell them the whole truth tonight or make Lina make you a laughingstock for the rest of your life. But like I said, I can only be there for moral support because you have to play this right. If you mess up, you'll end up being a laughingstock, Octavia said with a straight and worried expression on her face. But she just wants the fame, but I don't. But I choose to sing what I love and do it in front of my closest friends and say that I made someone lose so I can be laughed at. I'm sorry, but I need vinyl to shoot her again, Flare said. Oh no, you're gonna play it clean, sis, Octavia said. Ugh. Fine, thanks, sis. I'll play this right. And thanks for being a good friend. Hope this goes right, Flare said. Anything for the #1 rock Pegasus in Equestria. Best of luck, sis, Octavia said, hugging Flare and Flare hugging her back. Then that night, every pony was gathered, and there was a great amount of chatter of mares and stallions. Then Lina walked on the stage, and every pony went quiet as she said, Tonight I'm here for 2 reasons. 1, you get to hear the truth from the #1 rock Pegasus in Equestria say whether I lost to my own bad luck or she cheated when I faced her. If I see lies in her eyes, I get to keep Shadow Pon 3 forever. But you will see the truth because I was supposed to win. But anyway, here is Flare the rock Pegasus. Flare walked down and pony started to stomp her hooves in the ground and then went quiet as Flare said, Mares, stallions. When I was a little filly, I always loved music, and throughout school, I loved it. Heck, I'll even say it. Music is my life.
The crowd cheered and stopped their hoses on the ground and went quiet again.
Excuse me. I was bullied throughout my life, and that music competition wasn't based on skills, Lina. Flare said, looking at Lina, then saying, "It was about expressing the true talent that lies inside of all of us. I didn't want the fame, but I deal with it, and love the fans and adore what I do for a living. So you're looking at whether I cheated during the competition? The answer is no, because I don't cheat. I go in and do my best, and if I mess up, I practice more, and practice until I do it perfect. And I continue to do concerts for my special opponents and my fans and my family. So there is your answer. Because unlike you, I don't kidnap people and hold them hostage for the truth as ransom." Fire said as every opponent started to give Lina a mean look. Lina gave an embarrassment look and smiled innocently like she had done nothing wrong. She said, "Well, I think we all know some mayors get their way sometimes." Flare gave Lina a very mad look and said, "Where is Shadow Pon?" "No, I'm not going to give Shadow Pon back because I wanted you to say what I told you to," Lina said. Flare went backstage and told Vinyl Scratch, "Okay, blast her again." Vinyl nodded and went out backstage, and Flare followed her behind, and she said to Lina, "Well then, if you don't tell me where she is, then you can choose either you get blasted again by the base cannon, or you can tell me where Shadow Pon 3 is." "Never," Lina said, rolling her eyes. "Okay, blast her." Flare said, "Stop!" Shadow Pon said, flying down from the sky and landing next to Flare. "Shadow Pon, but how did you escape?" Flare asked. "I was kidnapped by Lina, but I knew the building pretty well, and she made one huge mistake," Shadow Pon said. "What was that?" Lina said. "Leaving my ropes loose," Shadow Pon said, giving Lina a mean look with an evil smile. "Oh, you're definitely in trouble now, Lina," Flare said. And Lina started to back up, and Vinyl fired her base cannon again, and Lina went flying through the air. Everyone started to cheer and stomping their hooves on the ground, and Flare looked at Shadow Pon, and Shadow Pon looked at Flare, and Flare said, "It's great to have you back, Shadow Pon." "I'm glad I'm back with my special pony," Shadow Pon said, and Flare ran and hugged Shadow Pon tight, as Shadow Pon hugged Flare back, just as tight, and the crowd cheered even more. To be continued with the next episode.